Hollywood is reacting in shock and horror that Jimmy Kimmel has been pulled off the air, terrified that he will never return. The affiliates certainly don't want it, but how are the celebrities? How are the news media taking Jimmy Kimmel being taken off air? We've got the answers, we've got the videos, we've got the clips, we've got the snippets, the quotes, and everything else. The woke can't stand losing Jimmy. Hello, folks. It's a dandy of a day. Thank you for coming our way. We're ready to dive into the hallowed halls of Holly Weird. As we do so, get ready to click that like button, drop a comment down below, let us know your thoughts, and we'll talk to you about how they're taking it in Tinseltown as Jimmy Kimmel is taken off the starting roster and put into the Disney penalty box. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. It is from Julio Rosas. And he is posting something here from CNN. It's Van Jones again. Let's play what the reaction is to Jimmy Kimmel being axed from ABC.
That is why we exist. Not to knuckle under, not to do what we're told, but to stand up and to say, listen, if you want to pull these licenses, then we're going to go to court, and we'll be in the court of public opinion. But you don't get to go on a podcast and set policy for American media, for an American media institution that's been around a lot longer than me, you, or Donald Trump. This is a red line that has been crossed for our industry, for the First Amendment, for the right of people to speak. There was nothing hateful about what was said.
I mean,
he
come on.
spread misinformation. He was spreading misinformation with a smirk on his face.
Dangerous misinformation that, you know, saying, well, I'm not going to go into it again, but saying misinformation that can be incendiary to people who are already on the edge. Now, I want to talk about the red line real quick.
No one is incendiary by Jimmy Kimmel. Okay.
Well, what I would say, and Ron, you push back, feel free to do so. I think there are deranged minds out there that are buying into a narrative that is absolutely false. And
yeah, but they're not watching Jimmy Kimmel, man.
Well, maybe.
What's the average?
I disagree.
I fall in between. I say you're right, Ron. The initial push is not from Kimmel, but Kimmel is confirming the lies that are being spread that are.
Listen, there are a gazillion reasons why what Jimmy Kimmel said is harmful to society, and helps build up a narrative, a really deranged, destructive, and ugly narrative. I'm with you 100%, guys. But on the strict question of incitement, this is a show for old people.
I agree with that. Go ahead,
I disagree
most
because
blue hair.
They're not watching the show. They are watching the clips. And they're going to get those on Twitter or anywhere else.
That's true. I'll give you that. But I still don't think they're watching.
See, the way I see this is that the media and the propaganda is sort of like a rainstorm. And there are lots of droplets of water out there, and some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller.
I love when you get philosophical like this. Bro.
Thank you so much. I love to transmit the philosophy.
It's kind of like a rainstorm, you know?
Like a little gray rain cloud. And Jimmy Kimmel is a thunderclap that shakes loose some of that, because when he comes out and presents this narrative, then others latch onto it. They play the clip, they talk about it, they commentate it, and it gets promulgated through Reddit and these other places. And that's my concern about it, is someone with that kind of a platform getting to say something that isn't, it's not just misinformation. It's like anti-truth. Because what it is if you took the truth and you said, how can I make this absolutely as far to the opposite of that as I can, you would say what Jimmy Kimmel said. Is that fair?
Yeah. He's a
schmuck. I thought that's where you were going, but I'll go with the other as well. All right, folks, take a look at this from Breaking 911. Oh, I forgot. I was going to tell you what the red line is real quick, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. The red line, I believe, is that for these people like Van Jones, they've lost Colbert, they've lost Kimmel. CNN and MSNBC have been spun off. They're watching as one of their own, Bill Maher, goes to the middle and is rewarded for it. The red line is that they're in total domino collapse. I think that's the red line that they're terrified of. Is that, you guys read that the same way?
Well, and what's interesting, of course, is with Colbert, They said, "Oh, it's political," and the network said, "No, it's financial." But they're not making that excuse this time.
Right. And they're also conflating being canceled by the government with being canceled by Disney or their affiliates. Right. They want those to be one and the same.
Right.
And again,
if this happened a week ago, who would have got the Emmy?
Still him.
It's important.
And who would have known?
Right.
It is important to note that it is the affiliate networks that put the pressure on Disney that forced this action. Had that not happened, they would not have done this.
This is an important point. I mean, that's to the extent that there's any grassroots business feedback loop that affects decision makers at ABC. It's gonna be the local affiliates for sure.
Sure, because that's where the money comes from.
All right, so we are going to play now the Jimmy Kimmel situation with CNN, continuing with Brian Stelter, and then we're going to get to Hollywood. Get ready, folks. Here we go. More on what's happening behind the scenes.
ABC. We know one of them, Nexstar, which has about 24 stations with the ABC logo and all the ABC programming. Nexstar publicly announced that they were going to drop Kimmel's show indefinitely. Within a matter of minutes, we heard from Disney that the show was being pulled altogether. That suggests to me that other station owners were probably also getting scared. Other station owners were probably also coming up with backup plans not to air Kimmel's show. But even though we're talking about comedy, this is so serious, Aaron.
Say that again, Ron.
Who's that speaking?
Oh, yeah.
It's Spud Boy? Okay.
Spud Boy, big forehead.
Okay, he dropped a couple pounds. Good for him.
America is a less free place if late night comedians cannot do and say what they want. Of course, they can be tuned out. People can change the channel. That's how we vote. That's how we have our say in America. But really...
I just want to pause him for a minute because, listen, here's the other side of this that nobody's talking about, but they need to. Colbert was losing allegedly $40 million, and that's coming from the Hollywood Trade, so somebody leaked that to them. $40 million a year. Jimmy Kimmel has lower ratings than Stephen Colbert, but he probably has the same production size. So you guys out there can surmise how much they were losing, but it's a lot. This is an opportunity for all of them to say, enough of it, we'll just ride off into the sunset with this. Gives them an opportunity. But the news media, they're going nuts about this. Do they have a case to make here? Ron, we talked about the FCC is an opportunity to have cover for this. Do those on the left, like Stelter, have they found an acorn for once in their life?
Not sure I understand the question.
Do they have an argument to make that the government overplayed their hand in this and that it's inappropriate?
Well, not really, because the government didn't really do anything.
Right.
I mean, one thing that Brendan Carr is doing, I think, very effectively, is using his chairmanship of the FCC as a bully pulpit.
Yes.
And they're blinking every time. They're blinking every time. And there is something which suggests to me that there's something much bigger going on here. And I think, again, this goes back to things that we've said a few times, which is that you can't fool all the people all the time. Ultimately, the only way any of these businesses succeed is if people watch them. Advertisers will only pay if they're getting results, if there are ratings. They're losing audience. You can't just, readers of the New York Times alone are not going to support, 200-person production staff, with these preposterous numbers. I mean, even Rachel
Maddow.
Yeah. Even Rachel Maddow, had to take a pay cut. I mean, she's still getting funny money dollars. Well,
she only works one day a week. You got to give her credit, right? That's impressive.
Hey, listen, she probably also wishes that she banged Sarah Silverman, but you got to give credit where it's due. Yeah.
Well, the other thing that occurs to me, he may get paid through August on his contract. But a lot of those 100 people that are on his staff are going to get told goodbye tomorrow.
Yep.
They have no protection.
Yep.
Can we talk a little bit more about the bully pulpit? Because I think one of the reasons that is so effective, and this is probably a bad comparison to make, but for all the things that they say about the administration, they actually believe a lot of the stuff that they're saying. And when you had something like Trump, for instance, going after Soleimani, which is something that nobody ever thought he would do, when he did that, and it worked, suddenly everybody goes, gosh, he might actually do something. That's why the bully pulpit is working in this instance, is that they're terrified that he might. And so the power of the suggestion is enough to get them moving closer to the mark you want them to be on.
Absolutely. Any thoughts on that, Ron, Lou?
Well, yeah, but the other thing is, of course, they're not used to having politicians actually do what they say they're going to do. That has not been the practice, these many years. They talk a good game and they do nothing. So he's something different. And
well, you say he just sued the New York Times for $15 billion.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Make it 30. Make it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
15. New York Times, a couple of reporters, and Penguin Random House publishers for $15 billion.
And listen. $1 billion. So they remember how this went with the lawsuit against CBS. Remember, folks, is he going to get $15 billion? No. Is it a tactic? You bet. Will it be successful? We don't know yet, but we'll pay close attention.
And by the way, the bigger that number is, the more attention it gets out there in the world, which is important.
That's right. And the more the folks at the New York Times sweat. Here it is by Glenn Garner from Deadline. This just breaking about an hour ago. Jimmy Kimmel sideline. Hollywood reacts. So let's see how Hollywood is reacting. I bet they're fine with this. You guys think they're fine with this? They're fine with this.
I think they're taking it very maturely.
Here we go. Let's see what we've got. President Donald Trump wasted no time in celebrating the demise of Jimmy Kimmel Live, also putting Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers on notice. I think Jimmy Fallon's going to make it. He'll still do it. He's going to be the last late night, him and Gutfeld. Great news for America, says President Donald Trump. Great news for America. The ratings challenged Jimmy Kimmel Show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what it had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. I think Jimmy Fallon's going to stay. I don't think he's going away.
The Tonight Show is more of an institution than any of the other ones are.
Right, and he's got a contract through 2029, and he's rather benign, and I think he's pretty well good and scared at this point. Gavin Newsom says this: buying and controlling media platforms, firing commentators, canceling shows. These aren't coincidences. It's coordinated and it's dangerous. The GOP does not believe in free speech. They're censoring in real time. Hey, Gavin, listen, talk to me for a minute, Gavin. Gavin, you need to call Bob. What about Bob, Gavin? Bob Iger is down there in Burbank. He's your guy. Call him. He's your buddy. He's your damn friend.
Gavin, where are you putting this out? On Elon Musk's X. He's got a platform, and people are, we don't believe in free speech. That's why we're reading you.
Right. Well, Gavin is clearly confused at who's doing this. It's Bob Iger. Bob Iger. Now, I know that Bob got his arm twisted a little bit in a Mickey Mouse knot, but still, he's the one who made the call. Had to be. Alex Edelman says, this is the actual cancel culture everyone claims to hate so much. By the way, that's false. We've talked about it here on the channel. This is accountability culture. It's distinctly different from cancel culture. In cancel culture, you don't get to come back. They dox you. They toss you out. They run you down. They chase you from the digital square, and you can't return ever, never, no way. In accountability culture, we're adults here, and we say there's a redemption arc if you are so mature as to find it. Jimmy won't. Ben Stiller says, this isn't right.
Oh.
Well.
Shut up, you mutant offspring of comedy people.
Oh, God.
But how do you really feel, Marvin?
That's a Family Guy. It's a Family Guy line about him, but I think it fits.
So that is how Hollywood is responding right now. Lauren, there's going to be an avalanche of more as they continue to pour in their respects for Jimmy Kimmel starting tomorrow. But I think it may be muted. I think finally Hollywood may be figuring out the American people have had enough. and the celebrity ecosystem is falling apart?
Not quite yet, I don't think. It's going to take at least one more, I think, before the message gets really rammed home. I think people are going to be stepping a little bit more cautiously, but then they're going to start testing the waters again to see what they can get away with, and there's going to need to be another hand slap. I think when they're talking about how this is the real cancel culture, what they really need to be asking themselves is, are you punching down or are you punching up? These people who are now reaping the consequences of the words that they've been spreading, they have a gigantic platform that the average person doesn't have. Whereas in the
My
last
platform is not average, man. You haven't seen my platform.
You're not wearing platform shoes.
TMI.
but I mean, what was going on over the previous 4 years is they were censoring and controlling speech of just the average little guy who has no audience whatsoever. It's a different thing. And the other thing that we need to keep in mind is that we cannot allow them to measure us by our stick when they don't recognize our stick.
Yeah, sticks and platforms. All right, folks, I want to bring on a guy who's got a heck of a platform. Go ahead, Marvin, then we'll do it. Go for it.
I was going to say, I just got an update. Jimmy Kimmel has now been cast as Evita in the West End in London.
Oh, boy.
Weird.
All right, folks, we've got someone who is not just a rising star on YouTube anymore, but a meteoric success. Let's bring him in and get him to weigh in on Hollywood's reactions to Jimmy Kimmel right now. It's Derek Anderson. Derek, welcome to the channel, sir.
The only.
That's
gentlemen. How you guys doing? What's up, Ron, Marv, Lauren,
Hey,
LW?
Derek, there are 3,400 people right now waiting for you to weigh in on the Jimmy Kimmel situation, as well as the Hollywood freaking out and the news networks losing their minds because Jimmy Kimmel's time has come up. What do you say about it, Derek?
I mean, listen, I think, and on a serious note, this is probably the most divided we've ever been politically in this nation. I don't think we've ever seen political division like we're seeing right now.
Since the Civil War.
Now is not the time for monologues and jokes and laughter. And this is not the time for that. All right. Maybe 30 years from now, you can maybe try it. But right now is not the time to try to be cracking jokes. We have both sides trying to point the finger at the other side and say, who's responsible for what? Oh, it was you guys that radicalized him. No, it was you guys that inspired him. And right now we need our media figures to try to bring some calm. Jimmy Kimmel coming out and doing that monologue was one of the dumbest moves I've ever seen in my life. It was stupidity on the highest level, and he's getting exactly what he deserves, in my opinion, okay? Because you cannot come out and try to make light of an assassination. That is just the wrong move. That's not something we need right now. It's the worst possible statement you could make where say, we're going to go ahead and throw the assassination into our monologues, and we're going to try to – I would have fired him, the guy that wrote whoever wrote that joke, fired. There's no point in this. This is ridiculous, but again, this is what happens when one side has been allowed to get away with things for so long. They've been allowed to say, hey, we're going to call this guy a Yahtzee. We're going to call this guy the mustached man. And we're going to do all of this and that. And we're going to keep demonizing one side. So Jimmy Kimmel probably hadn't had his programming updated quite yet to understand, oh, wait, time out, Jimmy. We can't say that anymore. And he literally just watched people all over the country get fired for making heinous remarks or joking about it or celebrating it or trying to put some disinformation out there about the assassination.
I think he thought he was bigger. I think he thought he was bigger.
He thought that's for them, not me. Exactly.
Oh, well, yeah, you know what? FAFO. Okay, you learned. You learned today, buddy. That's my feelings on the matter.
Folks, that's why you should be subscribed to Derek Anderson. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing with the internet. It was made for this, right? Good night, game over, drive home safely. Folks, this video is done. But before we all head home, we only ask one thing. Folks, as you get ready to head on out, consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below and share your thoughts, for a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Waste not that beautiful personality of yours. And folks, we would say as you get ready to head out the door, that it has been an honor to spend time with you, an attitude of gratitude each and every time. that you elect to join together with us. Breaking bread and breaking entertainment, well, the industry. No, we like entertainment. It's the industry that irks us sometimes. Well, it was a good time. We hope you had a good time. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.